Lakshmi, you want the paper?
No, no, after that.
Good morning, Rector Father Augustine, Principal Father Amnadas, Senior Section Vice Principal Nandita Madam, esteemed guests and our judges for today, Ms. Prachi Tara, Mr. Gaurav Mohanty, and Mr. Sujit Mahapatra. Respected teachers and dear students, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this inter-school declamation competition and continue the grand celebrations of the Silver Jubilee year at Loyola School.
For 25 remarkable years, we have embraced excellence, leadership, faith, and service, firmly upholding our guiding motto, Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, for the greater glory of God. To commemorate this milestone, we now gather for yet another inspiring event, the Inter-School Declamation Competition.
As we begin, let us reflect on the words of Psalm chapter 32, verse 8. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Just as God's wisdom illuminates our journey, may this ceremonial lighting of the lamp symbolize the virtues that guide us forward.
With that, we now invite Rector Father Augustine, Principal Father Amnadas, Senior Section Vice Principal Nandita Madam, and our distinguished guests to step forward and light the lamp, marking the auspicious beginning of the day's program. As the lamp is lit, let us immerse ourselves in the soulful melody of a soulful prayer song, presented by the school choir. Thank you, Anup sir, for guiding the school choir. May I now request Vritti to lead us in school prayer. I would request everybody to stand up for the school prayer. Please join your hands, close your eyes, and repeat the school prayer after me. Eternal God, Creator of all, I firmly believe that I am now in your presence. I adore your divine majesty, and I ask of you that I may know you more clearly. So move my heart that I may love you above all things and my neighbor as myself for the love of you. Amen.
Thank you, Riddhi. I now request Father Principal to felicitate the judges with a token of appreciation. Respected judges and Father Principal, please come forward to the stage. It is an honor to introduce our distinguished judges today who have graciously joined us for this special occasion. Our esteemed judges, Ms. Prachi Tara is Odisha's first and most prominent professional storyteller, a journalist, anchor, and a certified All India radio artist with a rich background in classical music, dance, theatre, and media. Mr. Sujit Mahapatra is the founder and secretary of Bakul Foundation, a prominent organization in Odisha focused on volunteerism and social impact. A former English literature professor at Ravenshaw University, he is a multiple-time TEDx speaker and an active participant in literary festivals.
Mr. Gaurav Mahanti is a distinguished dance scholar from Leibniz University, Germany, and a gold medalist from Symbiosis Law School. He was awarded the Chancellor's Medal as the Student of the Year at Symbiosis International University. He also received the Ram Jethmalani Scholarship for outstanding research in evidence law. Let us put our hands together to once again welcome our judges for today.
Father Principal now felicitates the judges with a shawl.
Thank you, Father Principal. We'll now request the judges to please take their seats.
Now I'd like to invite Father Principal to the stage to share a few words of encouragement with the participants.
A warm greetings to each and every one of you present here. A very good morning, respected Father Rector, Vice Principals, teachers, and all the schools, teachers also accompanied the students and our own Loyola students. Once again, a warm welcome. At least we are very pleased to have 12 schools, including ours. You know that already was told what is the reason behind we are all here. It is 25 years we are celebrating our school Jubilee. We just began, just those who don't know, from other school, we just began the March 15th. So before that, as a preparation for this, it is a one-year program. It is not that we would like to elaborately enjoy this a whole year. So it is not only we, our children experience this beautiful moment, and also would like to share with others. It is one of the effort. We have arranged different programs. We started with cricket, next to this one, and some more to come. First of all, I thank all the schools, those who are willingly accepted, and it was a very pleasant response from you immediately. So on behalf of Loyola School, I congratulate and thank each and every one of you, including our own children. So dear children, will also put up your hands and congratulations. Having said that, you know the Declamation, I suppose you know because otherwise you won't be here. There is a lot of competition. This is an event which makes public speaking, and also you come to the stage, also helps you. This is to come out of your fear and all that. But for me, because I was just reading and I was reflecting on that, it is only limited to a few. Only this is a handpicked children who only are here. So it is those who are here also the audience. This is a platform gives you to come out of yourself, come to the stage, and also to lose the fear. And also you are going to demonstrate somebody's speech or something is there, and with your own emotion. It is not that just you are going to walk it down or repeating the same. More than that, any speech, it has got its own powerful message. The person who was written, who was communicated, it has got its own. But when you do or you deliver and you come up with your own gesture, your own enthusiasm, your own powerful expression, emotions and so on. So having said this, it's not a question of who is going to win or who will lose. Everybody would like to, you are here, you have come for a competition, each and every one of you would like to win. And would like you all to perform well. So I wish you all the best. I don't want to prolong advise you all without any very wise way. I want to say enjoy and feel free. This is also another form you see others also. So on the audience, don't get distracted to serve and get you to please listen to what way they are, and you have a lot of things to learn from them. So please listen to, encourage, and once again, wish you all the best, all of you. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Father, for your inspiring words. Now, before we begin this competition, we'd like to read out the rules for the judges as well as the participants. Each speaker will be given 4 minutes to speak. At the end of 3 minutes 30 seconds, a warning bell will be rung. The final bell will be sounded at the end of the 4th minute. Speaking for less than 3 minutes 30 seconds and more than 4 minutes will entail a deduction of 5 marks by each judge.
No passage from fictions or dramas is permitted. Participants must not mention the name of the school. After mentioning the name of the leader or famous personality whose speech the participant is going to declamate, he or she needs to give a pause and then start with the speech.
With this energy and excitement in the air, we're delighted to invite the first speaker, Rutashriya Dash from Category 1 for Class 9 and 10.
A very resplendent and enchanting morning to all present over here and the esteemed guests before me. I stand poised in the spotlight in front of you all, embodying the spirit of Priyanka Chopra, and thus with the door and eloquence I begin. Women in Cajun silence can now shatter the glass ceiling which bounds them. So, as a proof that they were never changed by the Spirit. So, the notion of squeezing women inside a glass slipper epitomizes the oppressive demand of the society's fragile and unrealistic expectations from women. But why do we have to diminish our brilliance to fit inside a glass slipper when we can just smash it off? So yeah, we have been told like a Cinderella gig to just fit inside a glass slipper. But why? We are not mere damsel in distress. We are the power, the strength. We are the tempest which this world has never seen yet coming. Our worth is not detected by the dainty slippers which we wear, but rather by the fearless strides which we take to conquer our own destinies. So, even the Oxford Dictionary has defined this glass ceiling as it is an unacknowledged barrier to advancement in the women for their personal and professional lives. So I hope that whatever I've been sharing with you guys, my fellow mates and everyone, you will take it, you will consider it, and start leading your life by being fierce, fearless, and completely, totally, utterly flawed. There is only you. I'm not talking about the superficial or the superficial part of ourselves, but the inner being which we are really, which are truly our beliefs, our values. We don't allow often ourselves to just dream beyond our imaginations. Just loosen it up. Shake it off, guys. Why do we have to just focus on it? Why do we have to be harsh with ourselves when we are the best? All we want is we have to do our best. So, that we have to become the best and pursue our dreams. Now tell me what's life without a little bit of risk? If we don't take risks, then we don't find all the possibilities, we don't explore it, which life throws at us. So take the risks boldly and fight with them. Just do the best which you can serve when you are competing. And now, who likes to fail over here as we are in the competitions and everything? I fail. Whenever I feel I just wrap myself all around the self-pity from head to toe and ask myself, self-pity, self-pity, self-pity. It's not a pretty sight I can say. So, failure is one constant thing which is certain as day and night. And unless and until we don't find the failure, we don't taste the failure, we will not ever get the true enjoyment of having a success. So yeah, we have to tackle it in a very different way, and we have to not be harassed. What defines us is that what we do after the failure, we just accept it and just dive into our lives straight and just go with our ambitions. So fail, but rise like a phoenix. Now, as women have been always said about it, so to be supercalifragilistic, expeditious women of 2025, be bold, fearless. Wear your strength as a crowd and give wings to your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudrashreya. Let's dive in deeper with our next speaker, Ayush Pani.
Today, I am feeling very proud in standing before you, and today I am going to present the speech once said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our ex-president. And here I begin. I have three visions for India. In 3,000 years of our history, People from all over the world have come and invaded us. From Alexander onwards, Greek, British, Dutch, all of them came and looted us, took what was ours. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their lands. We have not tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is that of freedom. My second vision for India is development. For 10 years, 50 years, we have been a developing nation. Now, it's time we see ourselves as a developed nation. We have 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being globally recognized. Yet, we lack the self-confidence to see ourselves as a developed nation who is self-reliant and self-assured. Isn't this incorrect? My third vision for India is development. And that India will stand up to the world. Because I believe that unless India stands up to the world, no one will respect us. Only strength respects strength. It was my great pleasure to have worked with three great minds. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai of Department of Space, Professor Satish Dhawan, who succeeded him, and Dr. Brahma Prakash, father of nuclear material. I was lucky to have worked with all three of them closely and consider this the greatest opportunity of my life. I was in Hyderabad giving this lecture when a 14-year-old girl came and asked me for my autograph. I asked her what her goal in life is. She replied, I want to live in a developed India. For her, you and I have to build this developed India. You must proclaim, India is not an underdeveloped nation, but it is a highly developed nation. You say that the government is inefficient. You say that the laws are too old. You say that the phones don't work. The railways are a joke. The airline is the worst in the world. The mails never reach their destination. You say, and say. What do you do about it? My dear Indians, I want to echo J.F. Kennedy's words to his fellow Americans. Do what you can do and ask what has to be done to make India what America and other Western countries are today. Because if we won't do it, then what the world will say? They will mutter about us many things. It will be just a laughing stock. Today, the world is advancing very fast. We must cope with the speed of world's advancing. But that's why I want that my beloved dear Indians, please you stand together so that we'll work together to make India a big developed nation for that girl, for any other people who are living in India. We must work together to fulfill to their dream, come up to their dream. Because many people have put their hopes on us. If we won't do it, then what will happen to them? They will be sad. Where will they go? It will just be a laughing stock. Therefore, I urge you, we'll work together and stand together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayush. Let's give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Anjali Mahaparta.
Good morning. Today I will be going to speak a speech spoken by our former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Innovation and creativity. I have three visions for India. For the 3,000 years of history of our country, people from all over the world have conquered us, invaded us, captured our mind, conquered our lands. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not captured anyone. We have not grabbed their lands, their history, and their culture. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. I believe that India had its first vision of freedom in 1857 when we started the War of Independence. It is this freedom that we must protect and nurture and build on. Because unless we are free, no one, I repeat, no one will respect us. My second vision for India is development. For 50 years, India has been a developing country. Now it is time to see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among the top 5 nations in the world in terms of GDP. We are in a growth rate of 10% in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being recognized globally. Yet we lack the self-confidence of seeing ourselves as a developed country. Self-reliant, self-assured. Is this right? I have a third vision. India must stand up to the world. Because I believe unless India stands up to the world, no one in this world will respect us, because only strength respects strength. We must be a powerful nation in not just military powers, but also in economic sectors. Both must go hand in hand. Why the media here is so negative? Why are we afraid to recognize our own achievements, our own strength? We are such a great nation. We have so many amazing success stories, yet we refuse to acknowledge them. Why? The power of mind is like the power of the universe, limitless and full of possibilities. It is only when we dream, think, and act upon them with determination that we create pure magic. Revolutionary changes, groundbreaking discoveries, and great inventions are all the possibilities of human mind's ability to create and believe in the impossible to happen. When we combine creativity with knowledge, when we replace doubt with confidence, and when we turn our vision into action, that is when we create pure magic. So, I want to live in an independent India. I want to live in a strong India. I want an India that should be fearless. I want an India that should not be afraid of dreaming big. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali. Time to hear from our next speaker in this category, Aditya Kumar Nayak.
Good morning to one and all, to my respected principals, vice principals, judges, my dear friends. Today I stand before you to express the power of thoughts, the invisible forces that shape our reality. The echoes of thoughts is not just a phrase, it is a reminder that every great idea, every change, and every resolution begins in the mind before it transforms the world. We know that thoughts are the foundation of progress. The thought in the single echoes of mind can ignite minds, change future, can inspire generations after generations, can ignite the power, the willpower to have a better look for our greater India. It is a thought which was made from Ratan Tata. He once said, I don't believe in taking right decisions. I take decisions and then make them right. A thought that remains unspoken is like a seed that is never planted. We should look our India to a greater vision. The real power lies in expressing, refining, and acting upon our ideas. The truth is that many people think, but only a few dare to voice their thoughts and turn them into reality. The truth is that we don't act to our full wills, we don't act to our full potential to make our thoughts into and turn them into reality, the nation, the country, the state, the city, and even this event is not destroyed by those who lack intelligence, but by those who have brilliant thoughts and ideas and do nothing with them. So let us think beyond limitations, beyond fears, and beyond doubts, and should have a greater vision for India. So this is Aditya Kumar Nayak signing off and leaving a one thought with you. Will you let your thoughts fade into silence, or will you make them echo across time and inspire generations after generations? The choice is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Bringing fresh insights, our next speaker, Abhyantara Samant.
I don't want the fear of failure to stop me from what I really care about, said by Emma Watson. A very pleasant morning, esteemed educators, teachers, dignitaries, and my lovely learned audience. Today I stand before you to speak on a profound idea, an approach to living that challenges us to think deeply and act meaningfully. We are on this stage not to discuss just an abstract philosophical construct encapsulated in the phrase echoes of thought in tandem with our motto from mind to matches, but rather transcend beyond the complexities of theoretical discussions and embrace a way of life that inspires us to make real, tangible difference in the world around us. So many jargon words, don't you think? Do not worry. With the limited time we have, I'll break down this complex topic into simple, understandable phrases, aiming to give you a clear and insightful understanding of what we are discussing today. Friends, listen closely. We hear ideas bounce around in our heads, right? Like echoes. That's echoes of thought. These internal dialogue of inquiry and reflection are fundamental. But just knowing things, just thinking isn't enough. However, mere intellectualization must be utilized to make judicious choices. Look at the technology we build daily. We navigate digital landscapes. But are we navigating them ethically? Are our online interactions fostering fairness or sowing discord? And this right here challenges us to introspect, to question the very impact of our digital footprints. Because echoes of thought without ethical guidance can lead to digital harm. And here's where tandem comes to play. It's the bridge between thinking and acting. We cannot merely intellectualize problems, we must actively participate in their solutions. We all learn about climate change, we grasp the urgency, but are we actually taking part in tangible actions? Are we recycling? Are we conserving? Or are we actually participating in sustainable practices? So, the concept of tandem underscores the imperative of aligning thoughts and actions. Discourse alone is inadequate. We must actively participate in their solutions. We all are well aware of the existential threat posed by climate change. Yet, passive acknowledgement is insufficient. We must actively participate in sustainable practices like recycling and energy conservation. Thus, knowledge logged in ivory tasks serves no purpose. We must actively participate in their solutions and translate intellectual insights to tangible interventions. In that way, only we can give this world and make this world a place where we all can thrive. In essence, echoes of thought in tandem with our motto from mind to matches is a call to action. The pursuit of matches compels us to translate intellectual insights to tangible actions to address the real pressing challenges
societies face. We must consider the ripple effect of our actions. Our intellectual and our practical endeavors must be synergistic, mutually reinforcing. We must work for the development of the nations rather than just complaining about things that even we are not working for. This word of echoes of thought in tandem with our motto from mind to masses is a call to action that we must take part in. In that way alone we can help this world be a better place to live in. With this, I'd like to sign off by saying that even I believe with our collective effort we can make this motto a living reality in our lives. With this, I'd like to sign off. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Thank you, Abhinandana. Let's welcome the next voice in this category, Sankalp Parekh.
Surya Samvedana Pushpa Diptikaranam Mangalam Subhadivasya. As the sun shines, the light gives sensation. This sensation gives birth to compassion. This compassion helps flowers spread their fragrance. May our daily life be filled with this fragrance. May our everyday movement be filled with joys. A pleasant morning to one and all present over here. Esteemed judges and my dear friends, this is Sankalp Parekh, embodying the spirit of Lord Krishna. I stand here to say what he said in the past, but today it is the truth. Let's start with the most ancient sloka. He once said, Udharate Atmanam Namatmam Udharate Atmeva Bandhu Pratyaksha Atmeva Rupuru Atmaha. This means, though thyself be thyself the greatest enemy, though thy art, thyself is the greatest friend. This means that our mind is not something that we can control. It is something we have to control. It is something that makes our action for a human is an embodiment of his thoughts. This world is a citadel of our thoughts. This world is a stage for our action. Let our thoughts be pure. Let our action be bold. Let our story that is something to behold. This world needs us. This world needs our action. Lord Krishna said to Arjuna when he was not willing to fight his family, he said, do not go down in front of injustice just because they are your family. For justice sees no limits. Justice is blind. Justice is never ending. You should not go just because they are family. Mind of thoughts is something Lord Krishna once said to Arjuna just because he was not ready to marry someone on behalf of his caste. He said, introspection and critical thinking are something that differentiates a fool from a smart person. A smart person thinks. Not only he thinks, he works on it. A fool only works but never thinks. Just because you want to think does not mean you have to sit on your home thinking about something. The situation is gone. You have to think, you have to act upon it. By acting upon the situation, you create this answer. This answer is what you can control. Transformation of knowledge can be done by literature, art, education and culture. Hence Lord Krishna said, just because she dances does not mean she is someone you don't want to marry. She is someone you should respect. She is someone who gives you knowledge. She is someone you must respect. Transformation of knowledge starts from the very beginning and it ends at the last moment of stage. Just because you are standing in front of thousands of people, just because they are your family, you don't have to be scared. Deliver what you think it is truth. Deliver what you think is good. Deliver what you think is truthful. At last, let's start at the most important aspect of echoes of thought, that is responsibility of creating a better society. Individuals must engage in discourse that enhances their critical thinking. Individuals must think, they must work for the betterment, they must strive on what the nation needs. They must work for what they need to solve. The critical thinking and introspection helps for intellectual curiosity, fostering new development, fostering new ideas which help in rise of power. This power can create a nation that never stops in front of anyone, a nation that never goes in front of anyone. At last, let me speak you one last thing. Just because your mind is your greatest tool, you have to befriend it. If you do not befriend it, it is your greatest enemy. But the person who befriends his mind, it is his greatest tool, his greatest weapon, his greatest friend. You must befriend your mind, or your mind controls you. For you are not the slave of your thoughts. Your thoughts are the slave of your action. Let your action control your thoughts. Do not be someone who thinks. At last but not the least, I'd like to sign off with one question to you. My question is, curiosity killed the cat. How curious are you? Curious enough to bring the change. Curious enough to change this world. Curious enough to keep the vision of Lord Krishna alive. Or curious enough to let this nation downfall. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Sambal. Continuing with our competition, we now invite Anushka Sahu to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we reflect on a defining moment in India's history. Our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi has declared a state of emergency in the country. With unwavering resolve, she addressed the whole nation. Let us step into that moment and hear her words in the defense of India's unity and stability. My dear fellow countrymen, I stand before you today in a moment of great national crisis. With a heavy heart, I must inform you that our country, India, has entered a phase of challenge, a time when the very fabric of our democracy is being tested. But the survival of this great nation, its unity and its progress must come first. The nation is in turmoil. The very principles of our democracy, for which we fought so valiantly to establish, have been brought under threat by those who seek to destabilize the way of our life. The country is on the brink of chaos, and the responsibility of safeguarding the unity and integrity of this great nation rests on my shoulders, and indeed on the shoulders of every Indian who values peace, unity, integrity and democratic spirit that has always guided us. The government under my leadership has taken a decision that is difficult but necessary. I have declared a state of emergency in the country. This decision is not taken lightly. It is with the utmost consideration for the welfare of the nation and for the well-being of every citizen who find themselves at this juncture. Let me make it very clear. This emergency is not a mark of defeat. Rather, it is a call for unity. It is an opportunity for us to reassert our strength as the people of India. A time to right the nation of chaos and disorder that threatens to tear us apart. This emergency will allow us to restore the law, and in order to safeguard the democracy from those who seek to destroy it. I have to take this step to ensure the future of this great nation is not compromised. We have faced many oppositions, violence and unrest. Let me be very clear. This emergency does not allow anyone to silence criticism or to oppress any individual or group. It is a necessary measure to protect our national interest. I call upon every citizen, every Indian to support this decision, to work with the government. Let us not allow the forces of division and destruction to overpower the spirit of our democracy that has always been our strength. This is a moment that will define us as a nation. It is a time when we must put our welfare of the country above all else. The road ahead will not be easy, but I know, but with every will of every Indian, we will emerge stronger, more united, and more determined to uphold the democratic spirit that has always been the heart of this great land. Jai Hind. Thank you, Anushka. Let's dive in deeper with our next speaker, Navya Namasyakar.
When he spoke, everyone laughed. But when he was silent, before I begin again, let me ask, am I audible to the end? When he was silent, everyone laughed. But when he spoke, everyone was silent. Good morning to everyone. Today I am going to echo the words of Charlie Chaplin, but he removed his mask. The Charlie Chaplin, a silent film actor who hated the ideas of movies having sound, ended up speaking the greatest and the best monologue of history, which resulted even in the 21st century. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone, if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white, we all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there is room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. The machinery that gives us advance and lot of abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, but feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprisons innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but a passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, the dictators die, and the power they took from people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your land, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of the St. Luke, it is written, the kingdom of God is within man. Not one man, not in a group of men, but in all men. In you, the people have the power. You, the people, have the power to make machines, the power to create happiness, the power to make this life free and beautiful. Then in the name of democracy, let us fight for the power. Let us all unite. Let us fight
fight for a new world, a decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us unite.
Thank you, Navya. Moving ahead, we now have Ravna Sushi Krushti taking the stage for her speech.
Good morning, everyone. I stand before you presenting the speech spoken by Dr. Maya Angelou, who was an actress, poet, singer, dancer, activist, and a scholar. I open my mouth to the morning. I won't turn back. No, we keep on keeping on, don't we? I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to be party to this party. I'm grateful that you won't forget me because I won't forget you. I can call on you anytime. I make myself available for you and you know this is so. You can call on me anytime and I'm there. I always come when you call on me and you know this is. Isn't it true? The most important thing, I think, is to be present. To be present all the time. All the time, to be present. Don't shout and jive. Bring your whole self up all the time. Bring your whole self up and be confident. A woman is no small matter. A man is no small matter. A man may be 4 feet tall, he may be white, he may be black, he may be anything. It doesn't matter. You get to know when you are in the company of a man. You get to know when you are in the company of a woman. She may be pretty, she may be fat, she may be thin, she may be plain. It doesn't matter, but you get to know. A woman will respect you. And if you get disrespectful, she will say, "Excuse me, no, not here." You don't. A man will say, "Excuse me, no, not here." You don't. I'm human being, and nothing human can be alien to me. When you look at this phrase, one name always comes to our mind: Terentius affair. He was a Roman. He was a slave. He was given to a Roman emperor. The Roman fed him, and after that, he was the best playwright in the Rome. I don't understand why men want women who don't know anything. Wait a minute. You just want somebody who don't know anything and you can feel superior to. So women, if you have a man who don't respect you, too bad, too sad, you're bad because you can't count on them. And men, if you have a woman who don't know who they are, too bad, too sad, you're bad because you can't share them anything and they can't help you. I come to these gatherings where black women are here, black men too. And I hope other people are here because we learn from each other. And we should learn. You should learn that. You should know that. I'm proud of being an African American woman. And now, if I were a white woman, I would love to learn about that. Because there are many white women who are heroes to their countries, who are heroes to their history. So I would love to learn about each and every one. And I would love to learn about every Asian, African, American, Spanish, anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Lagna. Let's give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Ansh Pratap.
Hello. Good morning, respected judges, dear teachers, candidates. Today I will be giving the famous speech of the inaugural address by John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of America. In your arms, my fellow citizens, more than mine, will lie the final success or failure of our course. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans have been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now, the trumpet summons us again. Not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but as a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in, year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man: tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, which may assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the responsibility of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I accept it. I do not believe that any of us here would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we put to this endeavor can truly light up our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. Finally, my fellow citizens of America, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you. Ask what we together can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of self and sacrifice which we here ask you of. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history being the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth, lead the land we love, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must surely be our own. Thank you.
Thank you, Ansh. Time to hear from our next speaker in this category, Jasmine Mishra.
I'm the master of my fate and the captain of my soul. I, Jasmine Mishra, extend a warm good morning to the esteemed panel of judges, respected teachers, and to one and all present over here, as my soul sails with the spirit of being invictus, vindicating the veracity of today's topic, echoes of thoughts. Though the topic starts with a word that relates to physics, it encapsulates a world of metaphysical interpretation, thought-provoking in itself, and underlines the subatomic level of transformation in life, encompassing calibrations from the mundane matrix of Magus. On the 18th September 1893, an Indian monk stole the show on a global platform. Yes, I'm talking about the spellbinding speech of Swami Vivekananda on the forum of World's Parliament of Religions held at Chicago, America. His precise speech and fearless thoughts hoisted the flag of a sagacious Indian soul on the western soil who largely believed that India was a land of snakes and snake charmers. I take this privilege to replicate an extract of the most famous speech of Swamiji that shook the entire world. He said, I quote, "Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome that you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of religions, and I thank you in the name of the millions and millions of Hindu people of all castes and sects. I am proud to belong to a nation which has taught the world both toleration and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal acceptance, but accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and the refugees of all religions and nations of the earth. The present convention, which is one of the most august assemblies ever held, is in itself a vindication. Sectarianism, bigotry, and its horrible descendants, fanaticism, have long possessed this beautiful earth. Had it not been for these horrible demons, human society would have been far more advanced than it is now. But their time has come. And I fervently hope that the bell that turned in this morning in the honor of this convention may be the death knell of all fanaticism, all persecutions, with a sword or with a pen, and of all uncharitable feelings between the persons wending their way towards the same goal. I, unquote. Swami Vivekananda represented the enormous power of thoughts. He made a clarion call to the youth to have the indomitable spirit and unflinching willpower to nourish the muscles of iron and nerves of steel. I now seek your permission to stop here with an urge to be unstoppable with the words of Swami Vivekananda engraved on our hearts. Arise, away, and stop not till the goal is reached. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. Bringing fresh insights, our next speaker, Ojas Samal.
I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious. But Sir Albert Einstein. Us people love physics. An average human adult encounters over 6,000 thoughts per day. Some are dismissed, but others stick to ourselves, cling to us, and for the next few days, we cannot think of anything else. Some people also like to share their thoughts with the world in the form of prose, poetry, and quotations. So today I, Ojas Samal of class 9, is going to take you to a journey to people's mind of what they thought, how their thoughts changed the world, and how we see the world now. Education. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. This quote by Swami Vivekananda perfectly encapsulates the meaning of education. Education in this context is not about knowledge and skill. It's the process through which we reveal, nurture, and manifest the perfection within ourselves. He also said that he assimilated 5 different thoughts and made them their life. You have more education than any man that has by heart an entire library. Which is true, is what is the point of reading an entire library when you don't take any morals or lessons from it? Rabindranath Tagore also said the freedom to express your thoughts in education and experiential learning is very important. So did APJ Abdul Kalam, who supported empowerment through education. Once a boy from Mahar caste in Madhya Pradesh was discriminated because he belonged to the so-called low caste. But that boy rise from all this discrimination and later on became the father of Indian Constitution. You must have known him by now. He is none other than Dr. Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar. He described untouchability as a disease of mind. Mahatma Gandhi also said that untouchability is a soul destroying sin and caste is a social evil. Back in the day when Britishers ruled over India, the freedom to express their own thoughts was quite limited. People were killed, silenced, and deemed to ruthless punishments because they had their own opinion on the British government. But then a massacre in Punjab became the turning point. People began lining up, speaking for themselves, for their rights. Mahatma Gandhi also said that it showed the barbarism of the British government. Looking back today, we realize that if it weren't for that movement, we might not have attained the freedom to speak for ourselves, our rights, our opinions. The Article 19(1)(a) of our Constitution provides freedom to speech and expression. But are we having this freedom to express our thoughts? People are getting criticized. People are not being able to say their thoughts perfectly, what they mean for the society and everything. And that is why I will ask you a question. Should we have a place where people should not be able to speak their own thoughts, what they mean? Should people be silenced from their own opinions? That's why only one question remains. Are we listening? Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, Ojas. Let's welcome the next voice in this category, Anusha Das.
A very good morning to one and all present here, respected judges, and to the distinguished audience. Today, I, Anusha Das, stand before you not as a man of power, but a man of conviction, Sir Patrick Henry, a man who embodied the spirit of courage and was rebellious against the tyranny. No man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism, as well as the abilities of the very worthy gentlemen who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights, and therefore I hope it will not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen if entertaining as I do opinions of a character very opposite to theirs. I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. Gentlemen, there is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. We are left here wondering, what are we doing here? Gentlemen, please pay attention and lend me your ears for a moment and ask yourselves not to betray and not to suffer yourselves out just for a kiss. Try to understand, try to look on the greater side and ask yourselves, what are we? Is it that hideous smile of which our petition has lately been received? Trust it not, so it will prove a snare to your feet. Mr. President, it is natural to a man to indulge in the illusions of hope, but are we going to be disposed with a number of those having eyes see not, having ears hear not, and so nearly concern their salvation? Should I keep out my opinions at such a time through fear of given offense, then I should consider myself as guilty of treason toward my country and an act of disloyalty towards the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Ask yourselves how gracious this reception of our petition comports to those warlike preparations which cover our water and darken our land.
submission and the last arguments to which kings resort. But I repeat, we must act, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight. Because there is no retreat in submission but in slavery. The chains are forged and the clapping may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable. Let it come, sir. I repeat it, let it come. Gentlemen, we cry peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war has already begun. The North sweeps and the next deal will bring to our ears the resounding clash of arms. What is it that gentlemen have? Is life so dear, peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the chains of slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but for me, give me liberty, or give me death. Thank you.
Today it's 9 o'clock, so I would request all the students to very quietly return to your classes for a break.
then run. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl.
But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. This famous quote reminds us of a great personality, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an American Baptist minister and activist who was one of the most prominent leaders in the civil rights movement. A very delightful morning to one and all present here, honorable judges, respected teachers, ladies and gentlemen, and all my dear co-speakers present here. This is Anushka Sarkar, and I'm here to declamate Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic "I Have a Dream," which he has delivered in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And so, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day a state of Mississippi, a state sweltering in the heat of injustice, sweltering in the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream today that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will be not judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of the character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists and its governor having his lips dripping in the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to hold hands with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill shall be made low, every crooked places shall be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and every flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is our faith. Then we go back to the south. With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountain of despair. With this faith, we will be able to transform the challenges cause of a nation. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, to pray together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Thank you, Anushka. Moving ahead, we now have Bbsr taking the stage for her speech. Good morning, honorable judges, fellow contestants, and everyone present here today. I'm Bbsr, and a beautiful gift of peace. I have given you all the peace of prayer that Saint Francis of Assisi prayed many years ago. And I wonder, he must have felt the need, what we have felt today, to pray for. I think you all got that paper. We will say it together. Lord, make me a channel of your peace, that where there is hatred, I may bring love. That where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness. That where there is despair, I may bring hope. That where there is discord, I may bring harmony. That where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness. Lord, grant that I may seek rather to comfort than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to
love than to be loved. For it is by forgetting self that one finds. It is by forgiving that one is forgiven. It is by dying that awakens to the eternal life. Amen. God loved the world so much that he gave his son, and he gave him to a virgin, the blessed Virgin Mary. And she, the moment he came into her life, went in haste to give him to others. But what did she do then? She did the work of the handmaid just so. Just spread the joy of loving to service. And Jesus Christ loved you and loved me, and he gave his life for us. As if that was not enough for him, he kept on saying, love as I have loved you, and I love you now. But how do we have to love? To love in the giving, because he gave his life for us. And he keeps on giving right here, everywhere, in our own lives and in the lives of others. It was not enough for him to die for us. He wanted that we loved one another, that we see him in each other. And that's why he said, blessed are the clean of hearts, for they shall see God. And to make sure that we understood what he means, he said that at the hour of death, we are going to be judged on what we have been to the poor, to the hungry, the naked, the homeless. And he makes himself that hungry one, that poor one, that naked one, and that homeless one. Not only hungry for bread, but hungry for love. Not only naked for a piece of cloth, but naked of that human dignity. Not only homeless for a room to live, but homeless for that being forgotten, being unloved, uncared, being nobody to nobody, having forgotten what is human love, what is human touch, what is to be loved by somebody. Thank you. I extend my hearty appreciation to St. Loyola School for its thought-provoking motto, Mind to Materialize, which perfectly aligns with our topic, Echoes of Thoughts. Mother Teresa's life was a testimony to thoughtful action. May the echoes of our thoughts be guided with the wisdom of the Magi, leading us to the divine presence of God and inspiring us to serve mankind with love, compassion, and devotion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bbsr. Let's dive in deeper with our next speaker, Snehashri Mahapatra.
experience and the rules of the tangible world. We are trained to think logically to relate on what we can see, touch, and measure. Yet faith operates outside of this confine. It is not restricted. What appears is to be possible or probable in the movement. Instead, faith calls upon a deeper truth. A truth that insists that anything can happen regardless beyond which may I see or may the mind reason. The concept of limitless possibilities, though faith, is rooted in the belief of the universe or the divine, which is far greater than the finite limit, which we often place on ourselves. Faith is an invitation to embrace unknown, step into uncertainty with the confidence that someone greater than ourselves is working behind the scene. It asks us to trust that the right opportunity will arise at the right time. The doors will open when they need to, even in the time of challenges and adversity. Something good is being cultivated. Faith requires surrender. Thank you.
Thank you, Snehaji. Let's give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Loyola.
Esteemed judges, respected audience, and my fellow participants. Today, on this stage, I will be declaiming Malala Yousafzai's address to the UN Youth Assembly in 2013. Dear brothers and sisters, do remember one thing. Malala Day is not my day. It is the day of every woman, every boy and every girl who spoke up for their rights. There are hundreds of social workers and human rights activists who not only struggle for their rights but who also struggle to achieve their goals of peace, their goals of equality, their goals of education. Thousands of people have been killed by the terrorists and millions have been injured by them. I am just one of them. So here I stand. One girl among many. I speak not for myself, but for those whose voice cannot be heard, for those who can speak up for their rights, their right to live in peace, their right to be treated with dignity, their right to equality of opportunity, their right to education. Dear friends, on the 9th of October 2012, the Taliban shot me on my forehead. They shot my friends too. They thought that their bullet would silence us, but they failed. Out of that silence came 1,000 voices. They thought that they could change my aims and stop my ambitions, but the only thing in against poverty, against terrorism. Let us pick up. Let us pick up our books and our pens, for they are our most powerful weapons. One child, one teacher, one book and one pen can change the world. Education is the only solution. Education first. Thank you.
Thank you, Loyola. Time to hear from our next speaker in this category, Rohan Samantre.
Good morning to one and all present here. Today, I, Rohan Samantre, wish to declaim the inaugural address of our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to remind us all of the price of freedom. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem it. Not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight, when the world sleeps, India shall awake to freedom and life. In this solemn moment, we take a pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people, and to the still larger cause of humanity. A moment comes, but comes rarely in history, when we step out from the old into the new. When an age ends and soul of the nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. At the dawn of history, India started on an unending quest. And through trackless centuries filled with striving and grandeur, of successes and failures, through good and ill fortune alike, she has never lost track of her quest, or forgotten the ideals that gave her strength. Today, we end an era of misfortunes, and India discovers herself again. The achievements we celebrate today are but a step, an opening of opportunity to the greater triumphs and achievements that await us. Are we brave enough and wise enough to grasp this opportunity and face the challenges of the future? And yet, the turning point will be the past. The past which will reclaim anew for us. The history which we shall live and act and others will write about. Today is a fateful day for India, all of Asia and the world. A new star rises, a star of freedom in the east. A new hope begins. A vision long cherished materializes. May this star never set and a hope never be betrayed. Our first thoughts go to the father of this nation, the architect of our freedom, the man who symbolizing the old India, held aloft the torch of freedom, driving away the surrounding darkness. Next, our thoughts go to the unknown volunteers and soldiers of freedom, who without praise or reward have served India unto death. We think of our brothers and sisters who are cut off from us by political boundaries. They are of us and will forever be of us, no matter what happens. And we shall share in their good and ill fortune. The future beckons us, whither we will go and what we shall do endeavor. That is to establish a prosperous, sovereign, democratic and progressive nation. To the people of the world, we give our greetings and pledge to cooperate to establish peace, democracy and freedom. To our beloved India, the eternal, the evergreen, the ancient. We pay our reverent homage and bind ourselves to her service. Thank you.
given on 25th May 2011 at IIT Hyderabad, India. I have three visions for India. In 2000 years of our history, people from all over the world have come and invaded us, captured our lands, conquered our minds. From Alexander onwards, the Greeks, the Turks, the Mughals, the Portuguese, the British, the French, the Dutch, all of them came and looked at us, took over what was ours. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not
anyone. We have not grabbed their land, their culture, and their history and tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is that of freedom. I believe that India got its first vision of this in 1857 when we started the War of Independence. It is this freedom that we must protect and nurture and build on. If we are not free, no one will respect us. We have 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being globally recognized today. Yet, we lack the self-confidence to see ourselves as a developed nation. Isn't this incorrect? My second vision for India is development. For 50 years, we have been a developing nation. It is time to see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among the top 5 nations in the world in terms of GDP. I have a third vision. India must stand up to the world because I believe that if India does not stand up to the world, no one will respect us. Only strength respects strength. We must be strong, not only as a military power, but also as an economic power. Both must go hand in hand. My good fortune was to have worked with 3 great minds. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai of the Department of Space, Professor Satish Dhawan who succeeded him, and Dr. Brahm Prakash, father of nuclear metal. I was lucky to have worked with all 3 of them closely and consider this the great opportunity of my life. I was in Hyderabad giving this lecture when a 14-year-old girl asked me for my autograph. I asked her what her goal in life is. She replied, I want to live in a developed India. For her, you and I will have to build this developed India. You must proclaim that India is not an underdeveloped nation. It is a highly developed nation. You say that our government is inefficient. You say that our laws are cruel. You say that the municipality does not pick up the garbage. You say that the phones don't work, the railways are job, the airline is the worst in the world. You say that the country has been fed up to the dogs and is the absolute bitch. You say and say. What do you do about it? My dear Indians, I'm echoing J.F. Kennedy's words to his fellow Americans to relate to Indians. Ask what you can do for India and do what has to be done to make India what America and other Western countries are today. Thank you.
Thank you, Akanksha. Let's welcome the next voice in this category, Bbsr Sarangi.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. I, Bbsr Sarangi, is standing here to declaim the speech that was delivered by Malala Yousafzai on July 14, 2012 at the United States Youth Assembly. Dear brothers and sisters, to remember one thing, Malala Day is not my day. It is the day of every woman, every boy, and every girl who have raised their voice for their rights. There are hundreds of human rights activists who are not only speaking for their rights, but are struggling to achieve their goal of peace, education, and equality. There are hundreds of people who have been killed by the terrorists. Millions of them have been injured. I am just one of them. So I stand here as one girl among many. I speak not for myself, but for those without a voice can be heard. On the 9th of October 2012, the Taliban shoot me on the left side of my forehead. And by doing this, they thought that they would stop my dreams and change my ambitions. But nothing changed in my life except this: weakness, fear, and hopelessness. hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born. We realize the importance of light when we see darkness. We realize the importance of our voice when we are silenced. In the same way, we realized the importance of books and pens when we are in swamp Pakistan, when we were threatened by the guns and by the terrorism that had invaded it. Even if the Khalid who had shoot me stands in front of me and there is a gun in my hand, I would never shoot him. This is the compassion, legacy that I have inherited, and the philosophy of non-violence that I have learned from the legends, and the forgiveness that I have learned from my father and my mother. A deed that goes against the rights of women is unacceptable. Millions of children are devoid of education because of the destruction of schools due to constant wars, conflicts, and terrorism. Innocent and poor children are victims of child labor. Young girls are forced to get married at an early age. We want schools and education for every child's bright future. So we call upon the governments to ensure free education for every child all across the world. Let us call upon the communities to be tolerant and to reject prejudice based on caste, creed, culture, gender, etc. If we want, then we can, and we can accomplish on it. Dreaming is a way to achieve a goal. And if we want to achieve our goal, then let us empower ourselves with the weapon of knowledge. Let us shield ourselves with unity and togetherness. Let us wage a global struggle against poverty, illiteracy, and inequality. Together we can change this world. Our voices can change the world. Education is the only solution. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the entire world. Education first. Thank you.
Thank you, Bbsr. Continuing with our competition, we now invite Alisha Behra to the stage.
Dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in actions. Esteemed jury members, teachers, and my dear friends, a very good morning to one and all present over here. I, Alisha Behra, stand before you all to present my declamation on the topic, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams," by Inaugural. This topic emphasizes the importance of having dreams and having faith in our abilities to achieve them. We all have dreams, but how often do we make them come true? How many times have people told you that you can't succeed? How many times have people laughed at your dreams and tried to discourage you? Probably many times. Many of us when young have great dreams. We do not let circumstances to limit how far we dream. We feel enthusiastic and ready to conquer the world. However, as we grow little old and start to see obstacles and failures, we start to stop believing ourselves and lose enthusiasm, faith, and ambition. We settle into mediocre life, plod on, and we either forget our dreams or they become vague, powerless wishes. Dreams are what give us a sense of purpose and direction in life. They inspire us to work better, to do better, and to achieve more than we ever thought possible. We have to take risks, push ourselves out of our comfort zones, and try new things. We have to overcome the negative thoughts and develop a positive mindset. What would the world be like if people had not dared to pursue their dreams? When God created people in His image, He designed them with the ability to imagine what did not yet exist. Every cathedral, masterpiece, and symphony began as someone's dream. There are many inspiring real-life success stories of individuals who have manifested their dreams and achieved their goals. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, and Hitler, all of them had a vision of conquering the world. The stories of people like Thomas Alva Edison, Albert Einstein, and Wright brothers highlight the power of determination, resilience, and belief in one's dream. My dear friends, dream big, never give up. Never lose focus on what you aim for in life. People who fight against the wind have better chances to gain because they prefer the risk and gain experiences. The future truly belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. At last, I would like to conclude by reciting a short poem on dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when life go, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. Moving ahead, we now have Rishita Mishra taking the stage for her speech.
Good morning, everyone present over here. Esteemed judges, respected dignitaries, and my fellow contenders. I'm truly gratified to have this opportunity to express my views before you all on how one should relentlessly pursue their dreams and lives. I have a dream. These 4 words spoken by Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just inspire a speech. It ignited a fire in the hearts of people across the world. Because I remember one night I was sitting alone, thinking that nothing I did ever mattered. But then I came across this speech and it made me realize that even the smallest voice in the pain of despair can be the biggest hope of change. Every transformative achievement began with a single simple idea. The airplane, once dismissed as an impossible fantasy, now connects the entire world. The internet, an unthinkable concept a century ago, has revolutionized how we live. These breakthroughs weren't born from accepting impossible. They came from the dreamers who refused to let that word define them. Dreams are the sparks that ignite change, but they need fuel to burn brightly, don't they? And that fuel is our thoughts, which not only shape our own lives, but also the world around us. A single idea, when nurtured with belief and determination, can spark a revolution, challenge norms, and redefine what's possible. Every great movement in history, whether the civil rights movement or the invention of electricity, began with a whisper of thought that grew louder and louder until it became an unstoppable force. But dreaming and thinking alone aren't enough. What separates a fleeting thought from true greatness is the pursuit of excellence. It is the courage to turn ideas into action, the hunger to grow, and the refusal to settle for good enough. Excellence isn't about doing extra. It's about doing more than we thought was possible. Consider the Wright brothers, who did not just dream of flight. They built it, failing countless of times before soaring into history. Or consider Martin Luther King Jr., who faced immense opposition but never wavered in his pursuit of equality, inspiring millions of others to join him. Greatness does not always seek applause, it seeks impact. It's not about personal glory, but about leaving the world a better place than when you found it. Excellence is the story of change, and it is not reserved for the smartest or the luckiest. It belongs to those who keep on going, no matter the odds. The key to success isn't about being the best. It's about being a force of change in the world that creates progress. So now, let me ask you, who will you be? Will you be the dreamer who settles or the trailblazer who never stops? Chase your dreams with fierce determination and pursue them relentlessly. Because in the end, the question isn't can you, it's will you? I'd like to conclude with some famous words of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Let us then be up and doing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to eat. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishita. Let's dive in deeper with our next speaker, Canada Amy Adhe.
Good morning to one and all present. Today I am going to declaim a famous speech by Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day, even down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with words of interposition and nullification, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as brothers and sisters. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that even in the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering in the heat of oppression, sweltering in the heat of injustice, will be turned into an oasis of freedom and of justice. I have a dream today. For those who are hoping that the Negroes needed to blow off some steam, will have a rude awakening if the nation returns back to business as usual. There will neither be rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundation of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But there is something I must tell you, my people, who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In our process of fighting for our rightful position, let us not be found guilty for wrongdoings. Let us not seek to quench our thirst for justice by drinking from the cup of bitterness and of hatred. We shall forever conduct our struggles on the plane of dignity and of discipline. We shall not let our creative turmoil to disintegrate into physical violence. Again and again, we shall rise to the majestic heights of returning physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community shall not force us against our white brothers, who have by their presence declared that they understand their fate is bound with our fate, their destiny is intertwined with ours. We cannot walk alone. Then there are those who ask, when will you by signs that state for why it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Let's give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Anvesha Priyadarshini Pradhan.
Good morning to one and all present here. Today I'm going to declamate the speech which was delivered by Hillary Clinton in 1955 on the Beijing Declaration. I'm honored to be here on behalf of all the people of the United States. This is truly a celebration of the contributions women make in every aspect of their lives. In the home, on the job, in communities, as mothers, wives, daughters, sisters, workers, learners, citizens, and most importantly, as leaders. By gathering here in Beijing, we are focusing world attention on issues that matter most in our lives, the lives of women and their families. And still, there are some who question the reason for this conference. It is conferences like this which divert world focus on issues that matter most in the world. I mean, wasn't it until the conference in Nairobi 10 years ago that the world started focusing for the first time on the issue of domestic violence? What we are learning around the world is that if women are healthy, when women are educated, their families will flourish. When women are free from violence, their families will flourish. When women are given equal opportunities to work, when they are given equal opportunities to earn in the society, their families will ultimately flourish. And when families flourish, so do nations and communities. I believe that on the eve of a new millennium, it is time for us to break the silence. There have been wrongdoings going on since many years because the history of women has been seen as the history of silence. But here today, let us say in Beijing and for the world to hear that it is no longer acceptable for us to discuss women's rights separate from human rights. Even today, there are those who are trying to silence us. But no! It is a violation of human rights when babies are denied food, when they are drowned just because they were born females. It is a violation of human rights when women are sold into prostitution, when they are forced into slavery. It is a violation of human rights when women are doused with gasoline, when they are burnt alive just because their marriage dowries are deemed too small. It is a violation of human rights when women are raped as a tactic of war, when they are beaten at their homes, or when they are denied the right to make decisions about their own health and families. If there is one message that must echo forth from this conference, let it be that human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights once and for all. Let this conference be our and the world's call to action. Let us pay heed to this call so that women all around the world can live with dignity, so that they can live with respect. This is the time. This is the work before you. We must move beyond rhetoric. We must move beyond words and act on common grounds to build that future we want to see for our future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Anvesha. Moving on to category 2 for class 11-12, let's give a warm welcome to our first speaker in this category, Diptimai Rautre.
Friends, today I'm here to tell you a truth. The truth that most people are too afraid to say out loud. And if you don't like it, too bad. Because life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Steve Harvey once said, you gotta jump. You wanna be successful? You wanna change your life? You wanna stop feeling stuck? Then you gotta jump. But most people stand on the edge of a cliff, looking down at the dreams, scared out of their mind. They wait, they hope, they wish. And guess what? They never jump. And you know what happens when you don't jump? Life pushes you. And when life pushes, it doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't wait for you to, it doesn't care if you're scared. It just soaks you into the unknown. See, Steve Harvey didn't have a safety net. He wasn't born with a silver spoon. He was homeless, sleeping in his hut for 3 years. And here, on the other hand, some of you all think you are struggling because you have to wake up early for school, because Wi-Fi is slow, because life is a little unfair. Wake up! Life is unfair. Life is hard. Life will break you if you let it. So, some of the people think that they are waiting for someone else. But you gotta jump. And yeah, it's scary. Because when you jump, you will fall. You will hit the rocks. You will scrape your knees and your parachute will not open right away. But if you don't jump, if you don't take that leap, you will never know what's on the other side. Steve Harvey didn't just jump. He jumped over and over again. He failed, he struggled, but he never stopped believing. And now he's standing on the other side, looking back at all the people still waiting, still making excuses. And my question to you is, are you going to be one of them? Are you going to stand there, scared, afraid? Or are you going to stand up? Are you going to do something with your life? Because let me tell you something. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. This is your life, not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends, not even your family is going to save you. This is your life, and it is up to you to do something about it, to make something of it. You say you want success? Prove it. Stay up later, wake up earlier, work harder than anyone else. Stop complaining, stop doubting, stop waiting for a permission to be great. You don't need a permission for that. Because one day you will wake up and realize you've wasted years standing on that cliff, waiting for a sign, waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to believe in you. Jump now. Jump while you're scared. Jump while you're unsure. Jump even if someone laughs at you. Jump even if your parachute doesn't open right away. Because if you don't take that leap, because if you don't jump, you will never know what's on the other side. You will never spend your life perfectly. You will never spend your life comfortably. You will spend the rest of your life watching other people fly. And that is the worst pain of all. So I ask you one final time, are you going to jump? Think about it.
Thank you, Declamation. Time to hear it from our next speaker in this category, Angelina Williams.
steel can lift about 12 times its own weight? And did you know that if you demagnetize the same piece of steel, it won't even lift a feather? In the words of Joseph Murphy, there are two types of men. There is the magnetized man who is full of spirit and confidence. He knows that he is born to win and to succeed. However, there is this type of man who is demagnetized. He is full of doubts and fears. Opportunities come and he says, oh, I might fail, I might lose my money, people will laugh at me. Such a person won't really get too far in his life, because if he is afraid to take a step forward, then he might end up staying in the same place forever. Become the magnetized man and discover the master secret of the ages. You have a mind and you should learn how to use it. You have two levels in your mind, the conscious or the rational level and the subconscious or the irrational level. You think with your conscious mind, and whatever you habitually think sinks down into your subconscious mind, which creates according to the nature of your thoughts. Your subconscious mind is a creative mind and is the seat of all your emotions. If you think good, then good will follow. If you think bad, then bad will follow. This is the way your mind works. The main point to remember is that once your subconscious mind accepts any idea, it starts to execute it. It is an interesting and subtle truth that the law of the subconscious mind works for good and bad ideas alike. This law, when applied in a negative way, is the cause of failure, frustration, and unhappiness. However, when your habitual thinking is harmonious and constructive, this leads to perfect health, success, and prosperity in life. A peaceful mind and a healthy body are inevitable, my dear friends, if you think and feel in the right way. Whatever you claim mentally and feel as true, your subconscious brings it forth into your experience. The only thing necessary for you to do is to get your subconscious accept an idea, and the law of your own subconscious mind will bring forth the happiness, fortune, and position that you may desire. You pass the command or the decree, and your subconscious will faithfully reproduce the idea impressed upon it. The law of your mind is this. You will get a reaction or response from your subconscious mind according to the nature of the thought that you hold in your conscious mind. Psychologists and psychiatrists point out that when thoughts are conveyed to the subconscious mind, impressions are made in the brain cells. As soon as the subconscious accepts any idea, it starts to put it into effect immediately. It works by the association of ideas and uses every bit of knowledge that you have gathered in your entire lifetime to bring about its purpose. It draws on the infinite power, energy, and wisdom within you. It lines up all the laws of the nature to get its way. Sometimes it seems to bring about an immediate solution to the problems. However, in other times it may take days, weeks, or even longer. Its ways are past finding out. In conclusion, the crux of all of this is that the power to shape our destiny lies within us. It has harnessed the full potential and the ultimate power of our subconscious mind to unleash a life of purpose, peace, and prosperity. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina. Bringing fresh insights, our next speaker, Ananya Priyadarshini.
Good morning, everyone. I, Ananya Priyadarshini, stand before you today to deliver Oprah Winfrey's iconic Golden Globe speech, "A New Day is on the Horizon." In 1964, a little girl sat on the linoleum floors of her mother's house in Milwaukee watching the Oscars. She saw Sidney Poitier walk onto the stage, the first black man to win Best Actor. That little girl was me. And now, years later, as I stand here today, I know that somewhere another little girl is watching me become the first black woman to win the Cecil B. DeMille Award today. What I know for sure and empowered enough to share their personal stories. I express my deepest gratitude to all the women who have endured years of abuse and assault because they, like my mother, had children to feed and bills to pay and dreams to pursue. I am who I am because of the women who came before me. They are the women whose names we will never know. They are domestic workers, farm workers, teachers, scholars, politicians, and what not. And there's someone else. Reese Taylor. Reese Taylor, in 1944, was a young wife and mother who was returning home from church when she was abducted and raped by 6 armed men who threatened to kill her if she ever told anyone. But she spoke. Her story was reported to the NAACP, where a young investigator named Rosa Parks sought justice for her. But unfortunately, with a heavy heart, justice was never an option during the era of Jim Crow. The men were never persecuted. Reese Taylor has lived, as we all have lived, in a culture deeply broken by brutally powerful men. For far too long, women have not been heard or believed when they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men, but their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. Reese Taylor's truth remains just like the truth of so many other women who have been tormented in all those years. And it's here, it's right here with every woman who chooses to say, "Me too," and every man who chooses to listen. In my career, I have interviewed people who have withstood the ugliest things life could possibly throw at you. But guess what? They all had something in common. Hope for a brighter tomorrow, even during the darkest of nights. So, to all the little girls watching, I just want to say that a new day is on the horizon. And when that day finally dawns, it will be because of a lot of magnificent women, some of who are right here in this room with me, and some pretty phenomenal men fighting hard to make sure that they build a future where nobody ever has to say, "Me too," again. Thank you. 13 children. And I have sat back and watched helplessly as my people, my children, were sold into slavery. Why did none of you speak about me? Why did none of you speak about my rights? When I cried with a mother's grief, nobody heard my voice except of Jesus Christ. And yet I, a woman, you know, whenever this topic is brought up, this topic about human rights and stuff, the white people, they say this one thing, they say this word, what's that? Thank you, yes, intellect, that's the word. I'm asking you, what does that have anything to do with the rights of women or the rights of Negroes? Let's say a man, he has a huge jug of water with himself, and the woman has a tiny little cup with herself. Then why won't you people allow both of them to fill those things completely to the brim, just as equally? And then that man over there in the black shirt, yes, him, he spoke before me and he said that women cannot have equal rights to men because, well, Jesus Christ was not a woman. Let me ask you one question. Where do you think Jesus Christ came from? Where do you think your Christ comes from? He is the Son of God and a woman. Ain't no man had anything to do with this. And the first ever woman that was created by God, Eve from Bible, if she was capable enough to turn the entire world upside down with just one single mistake, then I believe that the women of my generation and the girls of my generation, they deserve the right to fix that mistake. And when we women, when we ask you men to hand us over that exact right, you better not deny us that. Well, I'm very much obliged to everyone for hearing me out with so much patience, and old sojourner ain't got nothing more to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Yashodhara. Continuing with our competition, we now invite Ritika Sahu to the stage.
A very good morning to everybody present here. This is Ritika Sahu of Class 12, standing before you to declaim the speech of Angela Bassett at our Icon Awards 2019. She's an Afro-American actress. Hey sisters, you good? You look good, you look good. You look like a letter from home. The word purpose and what it means has fused my spirit. We all have purpose, even if you're still trying to understand what that is. When I decided as a teenager that acting would be my path, whether I recognized it or not, I was walking towards my purpose. As a young actress, trying to make my way, Thank you, Ritika.
I think Ritika will give you a chance at the end to speak, right? If you want.
Moving ahead, we now have Sonakshi Panda taking the stage for her speech.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the signs have been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 1.5 degrees chance of staying below the given global temperature rise, and also the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. A 50% may be acceptable to you, but those numbers do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hidden by toxic air pollution, or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation, sucking millions of hundreds of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us, we who have to live with the consequences. To have a 67% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees global temperature rise, the best odds given by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the world had 420 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back on January 1st, 2018. Today, that number is down to less than 320 gigatons. You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency, but no matter how sad or angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil. And that I refuse to believe. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will be no solutions or plans present in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable. And you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say, we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now is where we draw the line. The world is waking up and change is coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonakshi. Let's dive deeper with our next speaker, Adyasha Priyadarshini.
Esteemed jury, respected teachers, my fellow students, and citizens of the world, today I am honored to be standing before you, honoring the Nobel Lecture for Nobel Peace Prize 2009, delivered by the 44th President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. We are fallible, we make mistakes, and fall victim to the temptations of pride, power, and sometimes evil. Even those of intentions sometimes fail to right the wrong before us. But we do not have to think the human nature is absolutely perfect for us to still believe that the human condition can be perfected. We do not have to live in an idealized world for us to still reach out to those ideals that will make it a better place. The practice of non-violence by men like Mahatma Gandhi and King may not have been practical and possible in every circumstance, but the love that they preached, their faith in human progress, that must always be the North Star that guides us on our journey. For if we lose that faith, if we dismiss it as silly or naive, if we divorce it from our decisions on issues such as war and peace, we truly lose what's best about humanity. We lose a sense of responsibility. We lose a sense of possibility. We lose our moral compass. Like generations have before us, we must reject this future. As Dr. King said at this very occasion so many years ago, I refuse to accept despair as the final response to human ambiguities. I refuse to accept that the illness of man's current present situation morally compels him to reach out to those ideals, those values that forever confront him. Let us reach out to that world, that sparks of divine that forever steers within our souls. Somewhere today, in the here and now, in the world as it is, there's a soldier who sees he's badly outgunned, but stands firm to keep that peace. Somewhere today, in this world, in the here and now, there's a young protester who awaits the brutality of a government, but still finds the courage to march on. Somewhere today, in the here and now, in the world as it is, there's a young mother, deeply punished by poverty, still finds time to teach her child. Scrapes what's left of a few coins to send that child to school. For she still believes that a cruel world holds a place for that child's dreams. Let us live by their example. We can acknowledge that oppression will always be there and still strive for justice. We can admit the intractability of deprivation and still strive for dignity. We can understand today that war will always persist and still strive for peace. For that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of human progression. That is the hope of the world, and that is what our work today at this moment of challenge on earth remains. Thank you very much.
I would now request students of 9 and 10 to please return to your classes quietly.
Anushka Panda, am honored to stand here and declaim a piece of Mother Teresa's speech as delivered by her while receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. Some time ago, this to you will sound very strange, but I brought a girl child from the street, and I could see in the face of the child that the child was hungry. So I gave her a piece of bread, and the little one started eating the bread, crumb by crumb. And I said to the child, "Eat the bread, eat the bread." And she looked at me and said, "I am afraid to eat the bread because I am afraid when I am finished, I will be hungry again." This is the reality, and yet there is the greatness of the poor. One evening, a gentleman came to our house and said, "There is a Hindu family with 8 children and have not eaten for a long time. Do something for them." And I took rice and I went immediately. And there was this mother, those little ones' faces, shining eyes with sheer hunger. She took the rice from my hand, divided into 2, and she went out. When she came back, I asked her, "Where did you go? What did you do?" And one answer she gave me, "They are hungry also." She knew that the next door neighbors, a Muslim family, was also hungry. What surprised me the most, not that she gave the rice, but what surprised me the most is that in her suffering, in her hunger, she knew that somebody else was hungry, and she had the courage to share the love. And this is what I mean. I want you to love the poor and never turn your back to the poor. For in turning your back to the poor, you are turning it to Christ. For he had made himself the hungry one, the naked one, the homeless one, so that you and I have the opportunity to love him. Because where is God? How do we love God? It is not enough to say, "Oh God, I love you," but "Oh God, I love you here." I enjoy this, but I give up. I could eat that sugar, but I give that sugar. If I stay here the whole day and the whole night, you will be surprised of the beautiful things that people do to share the joy of giving. And so, my prayer for you is that truth will bring prayer to our homes. And from the foot of the prayer will be that we begin to believe in the power of giving. And if we really believe, we will begin to love. And if we love naturally, we will try to do something. First, in our homes, next door neighbors, in the country we live in finally, the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. Time to hear from our next speaker, Sanjana Panda.
A very warm and cheerful morning to one and all present over here, honorable judges, respected teachers, and my fellow missionaries. I am Sanjana Panda of Master, and today I stand before you not just as a speaker, but as a voice that
It needs you. It needs me. It needs impact. It needs you. It needs me. It needs all of us to create a change. So let our thoughts not just remain as echoes, but be the voice of progress. Be the force of transformation. Be the spark that ignites the brighter future for tomorrow. Let our thoughts not just reverberate from within, but let them ripple outwards and leave an indelible mark in the world that we live in. Let us not just exist. Let us embody the journey from mind to matches. At last, I would like to conclude my speech by quoting a quote by Amit Rai. The echoes of your own thought has more impact on the world than your own actions. With this, I would like to end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjana. Bringing fresh insights, our next speaker, Antara Mishra.
Good morning, everyone. Now, before I begin, I would like you all to lend your minds to a question I would like to ask. Why are we where we are? When our age, no matter our profession, our designation, we all are. A lecturer at a well-reputed university was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer and decided to dedicate his very last lecture, his very last talk on stage to talk about not of death, but of the life he had lived, the journey he had and the lessons he learned as a dreamer. Randy's childhood dreams would sound quite impossible to the ears, but that never stopped his heart from having hopes. In his talk, Randy describes the obstacles that life throws at us as brick walls. The walls are here for a reason, but the catch is, the walls aren't here to stop you. They are there to remind you just how badly you want something. Life won't just hand you over your dreams. Young Randy wanted to be a Disney Imagineer. As an adult, when he did apply for the job, he was rejected. Twice even. But that never stopped him from choosing his childhood dream. And after all, he did get in. Because at the end of the day, the walls will only stop those who don't want it bad enough. People who really want something will keep pushing through no matter the situation. In his talk, Randy encourages the listeners to never lose the childlike wonder that one has within oneself. Life is always better and more fun if you don't take yourself too seriously. Just imagine yourself in his boots. Imagine death knocking at your doors and you welcome it with open arms and a warm smile because you know you have lived your life to the fullest and that your legacy will echo even after decades. The inspiring ideology of Randy teaches us to stay humble. Apologize when needed. A simple I am sorry can save relationships. Remember, my friend, success is never a solo journey. Towards the end of his very last talk on stage, Randy pointed out a very interesting element of all of our lives. That is none other than time itself. Randy said, and I quote, "Time is all you have. And you may have less than you think. None of us know how long we are going to live. So don't waste your time on things that don't matter. Don't wait for the right moment. The perfect time to start chasing your dream never comes. Every second you spend being negative is a second you could have spent being positive, passionate, and more importantly, happy.
happy. Dream big, work hard, never lose your hope, because after all, life is always about what you give and never about what you get. Randy is a truly inspiring character who has inspired millions of people with his passion and his hope and his aspiration that he never gave up on. I'd like to conclude with a reminder by Randy Bosch himself. Life is not determined by how. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Antara. Let's welcome the next voice in this category, Priyanshi Sahu.
What is fear? Fear is something which stops us before we even start. Good morning to one and all present here. Today, I stand before you to declamate the inaugural speech of Franklin D. Roosevelt from the Great Depression in April 1933. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. No need to shrink from honestly facing the conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and will prosper. So, first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. We face our common difficulties, yes, but they concern, thank God, only material things. Values have shrunken to fantastic levels. Taxes have risen. The means of exchange are frozen. And the savings of many years in families have perished. Only a foolish optimist can deny the dark realities of the moment. Yet, our distress comes from no failure of substance. Plenty is at our doorstep. We are not stricken by any plague. Yet the generous use of those plenty can languish beside of the supply. Primarily, this is because the rulers of the exchange of mankind's goods have failed. They have failed through their own stubbornness. They have failed through their own incompetence. Their efforts have been cast in the form of a pattern of outworn tradition. They only believed and only knew the rules of a generation of self-seekers who used to lend money. They had no vision, and when there is no vision, the people perish. Let me tell you, happiness lies not in the possession of money. It lies in the joy of creative effort. Thus, the work should not be forgotten in the evanescent chase of profits. These dark days will be worthy of all the causes if they teach us that our true destiny is not to be ministered onto, but to minister to ourselves and to our fellow men. Restoration calls, however, not for changes in ethics alone. This nation is asking for action, and action now. Our primary task is to put our people to work. This is no unsolvable problem if we face it wisely and courageously. There are many ways in which this can be solved, but it can never be solved by merely talking about it. We must act, and act quickly. If I read the temper of our people here, we have now realized what we have never realized before, our interdependence on each other. That we must not merely take, but must give as well. We are, I know, ready to sacrifice a life and properties for this. For the
instruments of their wishes. And I, Franklin D. Roosevelt, in the spirit of gift, take it. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanshi. We now invite our next speaker, Shreya Mohanty, to the stage.
Good morning, one and all present here. Today, I'm going to declamate the speech given by Shri Shashi Tharoor on the question, does Britain owe reparations to its former colonies? India's share of the world economy when Britain arrived on its shores was 23%. And by the time the British left, it was down to below 4%. Why? Simply because India had been governed for the benefit of Britain. The handloom weavers, for example, came across the world, whose products were exported around the world, and Britain came right in. There were actually these weavers making fine muslin as large as women wear, as it was said, and Britain came right in, smashed their thumbs, broke their loops, imposed tariffs and duties on their products, and of course, taking the raw materials from India and shipping back manufactured cloth and flooding the world's markets with what became the products of the dark and satanic mills of the Victorian England. That meant that the weavers in India became beggars, and India went from being a world-famous exporter of finished cloth into an importer, went from having 27% of the world's trade to less than 2%. Meanwhile, colonialists like Robert Clive brought in their rotten boroughs in England with the proceeds of the loot in India, while taking the Hindi word loot into their dictionaries and as well as into their habits. And the British had the gall to call him the Clive of India as if he belonged to the country, when all he really did was to ensure that much of the country belonged to him. 15 and 29 million Indians died of starvation when the British induced famines, and the most famous example was of course the Great Bengal famine during the Second World War, when 4 million Indians died because Winston Churchill, deliberately as a matter of rigid policy, proceeded to divert the essential supplies from the civilians in Bengal to the sturdy tummies and Europeans as reserve stockpiles. He said that the starvation of anyway underfed Bengalis mattered much less than those of the sturdy Greeks. Churchill's actual quote, in fact. And when the conscience-stricken British officials wrote to him pointing out the fact that people were dying because of this decision, he peevishly wrote on the margins of the file that why hasn't Gandhi died yet? So all notions that the British were trying to do the colonial enterprise of the enlightened despotism to try and bring in the benefits of civilization and colonialism to the benighted? Even I'm sorry, Churchill's conduct in 1943 was simply one example of many that gave life to this myth. Racism and violence were the reality of the colonial experience, and no wonder the sun never set on the British Empire, because even God couldn't trust the British in the dark. Let me tell you with the greatest of respect that you cannot be rich enough to kill, maim, oppress, torture, enslave people for 200 years and then celebrate the fact that they're democratic at the end of it. We were denied democracy, and thus we had to snatch it, seize it from you with the greatest of reluctance, as it was considered in India's case after 150 years of British rule, and that to a limited franchise. The fact is that to speak bleakly of sacrifices on both sides, as an analogy was used here, that a burglar comes into your house, ransacks the place and stops his door, and you say that there was sacrifice on both sides? That, I'm sorry to say, is not an acceptable argument. We are not arguing specifically that vast sums of money needs to be paid. The real question is that, is there a debt? Does Britain owe reparations? Personally, I'd be quite happy if it were £1 due for the next 200 years after the last 200 years of Britain in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shreya. We now have our last speaker for today, Vritika Sahu. Thank you, Shreya.
this opportunity to request Rector Father Augustine, Father Principal Mr. Gaurav Mohanty, I would also request the escort teachers to kindly come forward and collect the participation certificates. St. Honors Higher Secondary School, Venkateshwara English Medium School, Venkateshwara Miss Priyadarshini, if she's there. DAV Public School, Kalinganagar. DAV Public School, Unit 8. Ruchika High School, PM Shri KV number 3, St. Joseph's High School, Cambridge School, Sai International School, DAV Public School, Kalinganagar. Oh, I beg your pardon. Blessed Sacrament High School, Puri. DAV Public School, Chandrasekharpur. Loyola School, Moshri Jana, this is Moshri Jana, could you please tell us? Thank you, Father. May I now request the judges to say a few words to the participants? Okay.
Hello everyone. Firstly, it's amazing to be back in my school to celebrate this celebration of speech and spirit. But I just want to give you an anecdote. That's the reason why I want to come and speak here today. I was one of those notorious kids in the back who, you saw the teachers doing shh to them while they were speaking. I was one of them. But when I was in 6th standard, 7th standard, I don't know what Nandita ma'am saw in me. She plucked me out under emotional blackmail, if I may have, to represent Emerald House in an elocution competition. And the topic was as pedantic as my family. And under a lot of complaints, I didn't go up on the stage. And after the second sentence, I forgot my speech. And I considered myself an extrovert. I thought I was always a good conversationalist. But facing the dark arts of public speaking, I grumbled. And I thought, and once I finished that speech, I went out. And I realized that, okay, I'm never going to ever indulge in something so macabre a script. And I did not do public speaking again throughout school. When I joined law school again, first year there was nothing. In my second year, I decided to take a gamble with mooting, which is a legal form of debate. That's what we do in law schools. And 3 years later, I won the best speaker at the world rounds of an airlaw moot in Beijing. Right? I was not trying to flex here. The idea was that when I did go up to receive the award, I thought back on that boy who ran away from that stage, cheeks red and completely embarrassed and wondering how he's going to go back to the school. And he always tried to, and my teachers might know this and remember this, I try to pretend to be this hero. And when you're so embarrassed, how do you get back to that entire delusion that you're formed? But that's when I realized that failure is not a full stop. It's just an awkward comma. Right? So once you get past that, then you realize that, okay, you were born to do something, just don't let one hiccup interrupt you. So Mritika, when you started Angela Bassett's speech, I was floored because the way you started it was amazing and beautiful. And I know I have been exactly where you've been, and I know the world feels like it will swallow you up. But just let that moment pass and you will look back in hindsight, and I hope you don't stop speaking because this is such a great gift and you have that skill. So I hope you just go on to nourish it further. Right? So, thank everyone. Thank you, Loyola, for having me back here.
Thank you, Mr. Mohanty, for your inspiring words. I'm sure the participants could relate to it. May I now request Mr. Sujit Mohapatra to say.
Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations to Loyola School for completing 25 years. We just completed 18 years of my organization, Buckle Foundation, and on 1st April. And in 2007, when we started out, actually our first supporter was Loyola School. So in 2008, I was actually in this hall. We had organized a workshop on e-waste. When Father Paris was there, and it was an inter-school event. So it's wonderful to be back here again. The same thing like Gaurav said, but before that, I'll say one thing. When I was in school, Nandita and I, Nandita, we were classmates. I never had Nandita to pluck me out because she was my classmate. I never spoke in school. I was plucked out for quizzing, but never for debating. And after school, I started I said, I used to read I used to be very scared. All of you are much better than what I was at school. Many of you are still much better than what I am today, in terms of speaking. Most of you actually. So big hand there. And it's criminal to judge, I think Bbsr and Anushka quoted Mother Teresa. One statement of hers I always use. If you judge people, you don't have time to love them. I really loved your speeches. I hated judging you. But yes, so one fine day there was a debate competition, and that was a big debate competition. Obviously there were even more people. It was an open debate, and all the mahalkis of debating in Odisha were there. I didn't want to go, but a friend who was very keen to participate, compete, pulled me along. The debate started, the judges started listening to people at 10 a.m. My chance came at 4 p.m. Imagine the plight of the judges. I just thought, okay, if I have to speak, let me just be myself. I just had fun there. I went back, and luckily for me, no one was surprised when they announced my name as a winner. The next time I went to speak at a debate competition, after 1 minute, I was like Mritika. That is why I really wanted you to finish your speech. It does not matter. Winning does not matter. And I'll tell you one thing that I told myself that day, and I want all of you to remember this. I told myself that every next time I get an opportunity to speak, it will be a preparation for my next debate. I am not competing for that debate. It is going to be a preparation for the next. And that is how I started really working on my speaking skills. I remember reading, two of the people who were considered the greatest orators of all times. Gandhi, of course, George Bernard Shaw, if you've heard of him, right? in both their biographies, I read how diffident they were as young people. Gandhi, when he was a student in London, used to pace up and down the road before mustering courage to knock on the door of a friend whom he wanted to visit. But the same man could move millions later. So I used to tell myself, am I going to let fear conquer me? Or am I going to go out there and try my best? I don't care what happens. Right? And last thing about declamation that I will say, I saw some of you do that. I'll take an example from Odissi dance. I don't know if you've heard of Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra, who's the greatest Odissi guru of all times. This is a wonderful story I heard, that when his students would dance as Radha Krishna, he would go and touch their feet before they would go on stage. You know why? Because you are not Gaurav and Tachi now. You are Radha and Krishna now. You become that. So when you are speaking in a declamation competition, I can understand that some of you had this confusion that whether it is a debate, an elocution, or you're going to give a speech, present a speech of someone. Now, of course, if you're presenting a speech of someone, also you become that person. See, we love those speeches because they are passionate speeches. Right? So it should not just be a speech of sound and fury, but it should be you coming out. It should be internalized. It should be a Sujit speaking there. Right? At the same time, if Sujit is speaking about, let's say, Gandhi, is presenting Gandhi's speech, Sujit cannot become Gandhi. Should not become Gandhi. It should be Sujit's version of Gandhi's speech. You would not have heard of him. There's a very famous playwright called Vijay Tendulkar. He's no longer now. There's a very interesting obituary that B.V. Karan, the very famous theatre director, wrote on the death of Vijay Tendulkar. He said, for many years he had not presented. So the director presents a playwright's play on stage. And he said, for many years I didn't present. There's an iconic famous play called Ghasiram Kotwal by Vijay Tendulkar. He had not presented it on stage because he said, it is not B.V. Karan's Ghasiram Kotwal. I was presenting Vijay Tendulkar's Ghasiram Kotwal. So, it is Sujit presenting Gandhi. It should not be trying to, but the same passion, the same thing. Right? So, thank you very much. As I said, I'm really envious of all of you. If only I were speaking like you guys, I would not have been a judge here today. I would have been judging somewhere else. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure our auditors are going to really value these life lessons. May I now request Ms. Prachi Tara to say a few words?
Congratulations to all of you. A big round of applause for all of you for preparing and presenting your topic. First of all, I must say those who have spoke from their heart, those who understood the subject, the topic that you have chosen, that's the best way you could have presented. And that's the best way you have already presented. Because whatever topic we've been given, we must speak from our heart. We don't have to memorize line by line. The point is, when you memorize line by line, sometimes you might forget and sometimes you might lose that connection with your audience or with your judges and with your emotions also to put an impact. That's what, as Sujit and Gaurav has already told, but since school days, I was into debate, I was into recitation, I was into drama, so theatre. So all these things have prepared me how to speak and not to fear, and the stage fear, that takes time to go by. So you keep on speaking, whatever you spoke today. I'm sure you all are good in speaking. That's why you have reached this level at this age. Even if I was doing debate and recitation, but it was not that good like you all. Round of applause. Definitely, I feel so happy that if you can speak like this, being a storyteller, that I am scared. I will be nowhere when you grow old and you take up a job in public speaking, whether it's storytelling or becoming a speaker, public speaker like that. You have that much of potential. But you must understand one thing is, whenever you rise on the stage, it's not you Ankita or Harshdeep or Amandeep. You are a presenter of your subject, and these audience are your God. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And now the moment we have all been waiting for. It's time to announce the results of the declamation competition. May I now request Rector Father, Principal Father, our judges to kindly come forward. Category 1, for standard 9 and 10, the first prize goes to Navya Namasya Kadgeri Public School, Jubilee. The second prize has been backed by Anusha Das of St. Joseph High School. The third prize goes to Manuela Amy Athe, Loyola School. Now for category 2. Third, sorry. Now for category 2, the third prize goes to Ananya Priyadarshini, DAV Public School, Unit 8. The second prize goes to Shreya Mohanty of Loyola School. And the first prize goes to, any guesses? Yashodhara of DAV Public School, Unit 8. Can we have all the winners on stage for a photograph?
You can be on stage. You can go on top of that. They could be on the second step. Get on the step. Get on the step.
the winners. Can we give them a big round of applause for all our winners? With that, we come to the end of today's declamation competition. A heartfelt thank you to our respected judges and the audience for the constant encouragement and support. Thank you everyone and have a wonderful day.